YouTube Ozick going the Goat House is back. And I've determined that this NFL offseason is drunk and on steroids at the same time. And this Tyreek Hill trade to the Dolphins might be the craziest one yet. They've all been crazy. They've all been pretty unexpected. I think this is the most unexpected. Just seeing this and being like, what? Because the last we heard, Tyreek Hill and the Chiefs were progressing towards a contract extension. That was right before free agency. I think he saw the Davante Adams trade and contract and was like, yeah, I kind of want that and more, So just absolutely wild, just unexpected. Could it get even crazier than this? I think this has got to be the limit here. I think this has got to be the ceiling, but you never know. We're here to grade it, give you my thoughts, talk about the details. We're talking about this on Twitter as it happens, the rumors, the thoughts, everything. The Jets made an offer. We have the exact details on the offer the Jets made on our Twitter there. So check it out. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on. We got trade grades, some of them on Twitter, but the big ones here. We have free agency signing grades, a bunch of videos covering that. Definitely more to come. Just chaotic. And we love it. So here's our Twitter. Link down below for this at Goat House NFL. There's a lot on here. If you're not following this, you're missing out. So the trade, Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins. Get to see him in the Dolphins uniform there. And the Chiefs get a haul of picks, 5 picks. They get a first, second, and fourth this year. So you see the numbers of picks right there. So the Chiefs pick back-to-back in the first round now because they had their own pick as well. And then you have the second-round pick, which is 50th overall, and then 121st overall in the fourth, and you see a fourth and a sixth there. So 5 picks. Right away, I saw they were getting 5 picks. I'm like, whoa. And this is a haul. It's a lot of picks, but you see some of them spaced out maybe a little bit. So you have 2 fourths are in there, or 6 in there. To me, this is pretty damn similar, and I graded the Davante Adams trade to the Raiders. I graded that. It is pretty damn similar. A team trading away their superstar receiver for some good picks. This is a little bit more of a haul here that the Chiefs got compared to that one. Then the player then gets a big contract. It's pretty damn similar. So to grade it, you see the details. You see what the Dolphins gave up. So what are we going to give the Dolphins? They gave up 5 picks, right? I'm giving them an A here. I'm still giving them an A. I think some people, not a lot of people, say 5 picks, too much. You look at the picks. I know it's a first, a second. It's a late first. It's a little bit later in the second. Not as late as as the first. A 4th round pick and then another 4th and a 6th. It's a lot of picks, but there's 2 4ths and a 6th included in there. They didn't give up too much. They gave up a lot. Totally different at the same time. I just take a look at this, and the Dolphins needed an outside speed receiver because remember Waddle plays. He plays both. He plays slot and outside, but mainly in the slot. It felt like last year. At least that's where his best production came from. I thought his best production was some quick slants from the slot and seeing what he can do after the catch, and an occasional downfield action as well. But the quick slants from the slot were pretty damn dominant where he really got going last year. Jalen Waddle, that is. So Tyreek Hill, mainly an outside receiver that will be involved in some deep action. We know that, along the sideline too, some back shoulder, some comebacks. But also you can get kind of creative with him on the end arounds, things like that. Who came into the Miami Dolphins to coach and run that offense? Mike McDaniel come from the San Francisco 49ers. They love implementing those types of plays in that offense there, but you get a lot more of it with Tyreek Hill. So it's a great fit. It's a great pairing with Waddle. It's a dangerous speed threat. Another thing is, kind of going back to the picks. Were they going to find a Tyreek Hill with the 29th pick or with any of these picks? They weren't going to find a Tyreek Hill with the first overall pick. So keep that in mind. He's kind of a one-of-a-kind guy. And we see, I think it's weird. It's an interesting debate. I think people view Davante Adams, for comparison, as a better receiver, probably because he's more technically sound, more of the prototype, in terms of size, but then more technically sound in terms of, I guess, understanding coverages, getting open, the way that you expect receivers to, not just straight speed. But then you talk about who's more valuable. It's pretty clear that the league valued Tyreek Hill. The Dolphins did more with the with what they paid him and what they gave up compared to Devontae Adams, but it makes sense. It makes sense, because Tyreek is a one-of-a-kind guy. Like, these guys just do not exist. He's never really – there's other guys that are pretty – so about last year, Kadarius Toney could be like a Tyreek Hill type player. Doesn't mean he's Tyreek Hill, but there's players that kind of have some similar abilities. They got the speed, but really you can't really replicate a Tyreek Hill here. So Dolphins kind of got what they needed. They should have helped their quarterback here, so no excuses for Tua Tagovailoa. They gave up a lot, but they didn't give up too much. It's two totally different things there. And late pick in the first round, they weren't going to be able to find Tyreek Hill. Like I said, can't really replicate that. You find another one. I guess using some of those Niners picks as well that they got. So all that looks pretty damn good. Scratch the need off the board. They kind of filled that left. What do they need right now? They need a center. They could use I guess another. They can use a linebacker to pair with Baker. And they can maybe use another interior defensive line. So nothing major there. Very good defense, very good offense. It looks like now if Tua produces, if he plays well. So I like that for the Dolphins. Again, this is obviously not linked, but very, very comparable to the Devontae Adams trade. And I'm gonna give the Chiefs a B- here. So this is tough. It's just kind of like the Devontae Adams trade. At first, it's like, wow, you just gave up a very, very valuable superstar receiver that's going to be very, very hard to find a replacement for him. So kind of initial thought, you're kind of starting very, very low in the grade. But then you start thinking about it, and there are some differences between the Devontae Adams trade. The Chiefs got more than what the Packers got, so maybe it's above it there. I think Tyreek Hill is actually more valuable to the Chiefs than Devontae Adams to the Packers. Both extremely valuable. I think it's a slight difference, so that kind of bumps it back down a little bit. I think it bumps it down quite a bit because he's so damn valuable to the Chiefs. But you look at what the Jets offered too, and that Tyreek Hill had really got to be able to choose between the Dolphins and the Jets because of his contract. Like he wasn't going to agree to play for a team if they didn't give him the right contract because he wasn't agreeing to a contract with the Chiefs. So that was kind of a win for the Chiefs. So that kind of kept it, even though it's just such a major loss losing Tyreek Hill, that kind of kept it in the B, the B- range there. Is that the Dolphins offer is a lot better than the Jets, and we have the details of the Jets offer on Twitter. First round pick was not involved. The Jets were actually going to get a pick back to them too in that. So quite the difference. I mean, 2 second-round picks, but quite the difference there. So that was, in a way, a win for the Chiefs. Not that this is a big win in general, but you do get a haul of picks. You get 5 picks. The Chiefs are another thing, which really has nothing to do with the Dolphins. So the Dolphins give a lot of picks, but the Chiefs are pretty damn good at drafting, it looks like. They're pretty damn good at drafting, so getting more picks is ideal as well, no matter what round they're in. Another thing is very similar to the Packers and Devontae Adams trade. Why I talked about the same thing in that trade. Like I started off in a low C range. It also felt like both teams had to deal those guys at some point, so that kind of keeps it from being a terrible grade. But why I had kind of both those in the C- range, kind of in the C- range, and then really bumped it up is, what they can do with this, freeing up a ton of space in this with this trade. For instance, the Chiefs freed up just over $20 million. And again, very hard to replace Tyreek Hill, so that's a loss. That's tough. But, I mean, they're bringing in Marquez Valdes-Scantling for a visit. Speaking of the Packers, just a coincidence there. He's nowhere near Tyreek Hill. Remember, they added Juju Smith-Schuster on a good deal, so they're still going to have a pretty good group in there, and they'll still do some damage offensively, and they have more picks. And then you can use that $20 million. They got to go out and actually do it, though. I trust them with the drafting. I definitely trust them with the drafting. But now you have money to spend, so go spend it on a damn pass rusher because you need one pretty freaking bad right now. But if they actually upgrade in the pass rush department, and maybe add more receivers, you had Tyreek Hill. It's just like the Packers situation. It's like the Packers, Devontae Adams was getting doubled up, and you didn't really have a wide variety of receivers. I know Valdes-Scantling was out in that playoff game. And so it might, even though you kind of lose a superstar receiver, it might be better now that you can add several receivers. One guy's not getting doubled up. You got to worry about multiple guys. The Chiefs, same thing. Teams were dropping more guys in coverage, doubled Kelsey, doubled Hill. And again, I'm not trying to say the Packers would be better without Adams and the Chiefs without Hill. Definitely not. But you got some more flexibility. You can add more receivers. You can add the Marquez Valdes-Scantling. You can add somebody else. You get Jarvis Landry or something. You can draft a guy. People already including myself, already linking Jameson Williams to the Chiefs because it's a fit. They might have to trade up a little bit, so it's not like a must do it. But you can add that edge rusher with that money that you have. So you can do more things and technically make this a better team roster-wise, but Tyreek Hill is a big loss, desperately missed, and that's why the grade is much lower than the Dolphins' grade, for an example. But there are some positives in the recap. That is, you freed up more space. You can do more things. You'll maybe build a better roster, even though you may not be better without Tyreek Hill. Because you cleared that space. You have more draft picks. You're very good at drafting. Tyreek Hill pretty much had to. It just felt like you had to trade him. You got the better deal from the Dolphins versus the Jets. Starting to wonder were the Jets going to offer the 10th overall. That would have been huge. Wasn't the case. So there are some positives there, but they will miss Tyreek Hill, who was an absolute game changer, very hard to replace. But there's more speed in the draft every year. So I think one day we'll have a Tyreek Hill type player, maybe better, that is also similar because there's probably receivers they can argue are already better, but just different styles. So, again, it's tough for the Chiefs, but there are some positives in there. The Dolphins are doing some damage. They're looking good with their new coaching staff, what they added. It's all on Tua now. Can Tua do it? This is, and remember, he doesn't have a ton of reps under him, so he can improve. He can improve because the players around him, the coaches around him. So, and we know they have a good defense. So I'm a team to get excited about. The Dolphins. The Chiefs, as of right now, maybe have taken a step down. Definitely have at this time. But I do like Juju. I do. He's got to stay healthy, but I think that's a pretty good addition there as kind of a big slot receiver. So, can't wait to see these teams in action. It's going to be a while for that still, though. But this offseason is absolutely chaotic, and there's probably more to come. There's still some really good free agents out there. The draft's going to be wild. It's more unpredictable than ever because these quarterbacks are all over the place right now. And guess what? We're going to have to update our mock draft again because this plays a huge part in that. But we have a recent one out that I view as pretty accurate, but I already have changes in my head. So we'll get to work on that somewhere in the near future. Not ASAP because we just did one and we got some other things to take care of. But join us for all that. Like, subscribe, to notifications on. It's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.